Hello and welcome to Kent Tonight, live here on KMTV. I'm Finn McDermott and here are your top stories on Friday, the 8th of August. Feeling drained, 16 years of sewage woes on Strood Estate.
You're kind of helpless, really. You don't really know exactly what to do because you know when you call Orbit, you're not going to get the answer to what you need.
Fenced off, Boat Club seeks funds for legal challenge after site access revoked.
To get my boat off, I would need a 7-metre tide, which is possibly in October. We don't know yet, but it won't be before that.
And lending a helping paw. Cats Protection in Tenterden calls for more volunteers to support their feline friends.
I've been volunteering with Cats Protection for a couple of months now, and what I found is when I just go and talk to people about it, they just don't seem to know that we're here.
First tonight, anger and frustration on an estate in Strood, as residents have been fighting for 16 years to have their sewage leaks dealt with once and for all. Those living in Kingsware Gardens say they raised issues with housing association Orbit in 2009, adding they feel ignored. But Orbit say they're working towards a long-term solution. Well, our local Democracy reporter Ollie Leader visited the estate to find out more.
And it's getting worse.
16 years of sewage leaks and maintenance woes here in Kingsware Gardens. Still no closer to a permanent fix from Housing Association Orbit.
At one point when it first happened, the water was coming streaming along here up to the light.
Haru Asimba is just one of the residents who has woken to sewage spurting out of his taps and mould riddling his ceiling. And this is far from a new occurrence, with the father of two's complaints to Orbit starting way back in 2009.
You wake up and you wonder what the next thing is that's going to go wrong. And it's a worry, it's a daily stress, whether something's going to be contaminated, whether you're going to have that issue where it splurts up out of the sink and onto walls or onto the floor. And you have a constant daily reminder of it, especially with sort of the cracks in the wall, things like that. You just have to deal with it every single day.
Orbit says it's committed to a long-term solution, stating it's cleaned the drains and surveyed the area for further works, apologising for any inconvenience caused. But for Haru, communication blockages with the Housing Association are just as real as the ones in his pipes.
When you call up, they'll tell you that's a 24-hour job and you're there in the thick of it, so to speak, and you're thinking, well, this is an actual dire emergency for me. I need someone out now. You're kind of helpless, really. You don't really know exactly what to do because you know when you call Orbit, you're not going to get the answer to what you need.
Haru and his family aren't the only ones flushed with anger, however. Other residents fear for the health of their often vulnerable families.
I've been hearing stories about residents with children with autism who've been unable to go to the toilet because the bathrooms are in an unhygienic state. It's clear that Orbit haven't been fulfilling their duties in terms of providing decent homes, safe, hygienic homes. And it's really just got to a point now where we really need Orbit to up their game.
While Orbit say they will update residents as soon as they can, enough is enough for Haru, who is currently taking Orbit to the Ombudsman. Yet more waiting in an ever-growing pipeline of reports and complaints. Ollie Leader in Strood.
In other news, a 4-year-old boy from Margate was tragically killed after he fell under a bus. Police and paramedics rushed to the car park outside of QEQM Hospital at roughly 4 o'clock yesterday afternoon. The road was subsequently shut off for hours before being reopened, with an air ambulance being spotted landing nearby to try and help save the child's life. Azaria Green, the mother of Zahir Jan, says her son died immediately and that she is completely devastated by the incident, saying he was a sweet boy and that she is lost without him. In other news, a Sainsbury's in Maidstone has seen its hygiene rating drop from 5 to 2 stars after black mould was found on food shelves. These shocking images reveal the various spots of mould and dirt seen throughout the Romney Place store. Inspections also stated the supermarket's internal bins were beyond cleaning and in need of replacement. Well, Sainsbury's has stated that immediate action has been taken and the supermarket is currently awaiting a rescore. They've also mentioned that this is a rare occurrence and around 95% of their stores hold a 5-star hygiene rating. In more news, businessman and councillor Roger Knight has been left frustrated after Dover District Council reinstalled a public bike rack directly in front of a doorway to his new gallery. He had asked Dover District Council if they could move the rack about 3 metres along. But after months of waiting, in July, he ended up moving it himself. But just this Tuesday, found it had been put back in front of the gallery. Well, to talk about this story more, I'm joined by Etterly Reynolds. So, Etterly, I suppose the first question really is, why is this bike rack causing issues?
So the cycle station has actually been there for 3 years, but the crux of the issue that Councillor Knight says is that this bike rack, the location of it obstructs a side doorway that he wants to use for his gallery, which is set to open in about 2 months' time. The gallery's aim is to contribute to the town's tourism, but with this area blocked off, he's worried that that may not happen. The building was an old bank, and that specific door that it's blocking has actually been sealed for about 30 years. And Knight says that the Dover District Council's planning department has confirmed the change is classed as a permitted development. Knight owns the whole building, the old bank, which includes a preschool on the first floor. If this bike rack isn't moved, Knight says it's possible people will have to access the gallery through the grounds of the preschool. We actually spoke to Roger to hear a bit more about his frustration and this preschool situation.
For our use and to bring some culture and some investment into Dover, we need to open that door, because on the ground floor we have a children's play area, and we're going to open up a gallery on the first floor, possibly the second floor. And in order to do that, we need access. Now, we can't have the public walking through a child's play area to access a gallery.
I see. And Etterly, tell us a bit more about what Dover Town Council have said about this.
So they have released a statement saying that the cycle hub in the Market Square is on land owned by Kent County Council, with a licence for it to be there from the landowner. The Town Council informed Roger Knight of this both verbally and in writing. They've also stated that they cannot understand how Roger Knight thought it was justified in moving a public cycle shelter without proper permissions, simply in the interests of his own personal commercial benefit. They also say that Kent County Council will be seeking repair costs to the damaged paving from his unauthorised drilling. They also say a little patience would have been both more professional and appreciated and less costly for Mr. Knight. They had a long statement in response to this, which is available to read on Kent Online. But yeah, the Councillor Roger Knight is calling for this bike shelter to be moved just 3 metres as it restricts the access to his gallery, which is set to open in about 2 months' time.
Right, I see. Thank you for bringing us this story, Etterly. And as you mentioned, you can catch up and read more about this on Kent Online. Next, a boat club in Swanscombe has launched a fundraiser to help regain access to their club after the landowner restricted it. Broadness Cruising Club are not only facing a legal battle, but also a 6-foot fence that's being built to keep them away from their boats. Well, to find out more, Daisy went down to speak to the club to see how this has come about and what they plan to do to continue.
A boating club has been left frustrated after work on a 6-foot fence is being built to keep them out of a creek they have had access to for decades. This comes after a decision by the new landowners, Land Logical, to revoke the gratuitous land access which allowed members to cross for solely accessing the creek and launching vessels. The club is now raising £10,000 to mount a legal challenge against the decision, but some members have been left with concerns of what this means for them.
When I joined this club, it was ideal for me. I could afford to come here. My moorings here is like £280 a year. If I have to move, the cheapest moorings I've found so far is £800 a year. They vary from £800 to like £1,500 a year. For somebody like me that's retired, that's like quite a lot of money to find in a year, plus maintain a boat as well. So, I don't know. possibly I might have to sell my boat.
Nicholas Katz, the head of Landlogical, commissioned a health and safety report which suggested the site was in a very poor state of repair. He added members, whoever they are, will not be able to access their boats until the area is cleared and a fresh health and safety report is commissioned, at which point the situation will be reviewed. But for now, a deadline of August 31st was given for all boats to be removed. But for residents of over 30 years to the site, this may not be possible.
To get my boat off, I would need a 7 metre tide, which is possibly in October. We don't know yet, but it won't be before that. This place has become part of me, I've got no neighbours. I'm the only one that lives here.
The Broadness Cruising Club has been operating on the Swampscombe Peninsula since 1991 and is a part of the Save the Swampscombe Peninsula campaign map for the vision of the future.
And it just shows how important it is to people. When we go around, they associate Swampscombe Peninsula not with you've got wonderful biodiversity there, like I said, but the boat club itself is part of it. People just know it. They walk by and they're engaged with community, they look out for it, they do litter picks.
But for now, the club is raising funds to challenge the decision. However, the new landowners say any legal action taken
to young disabled people in terms of their aspirations and accessing science.
Well, it's now time for a quick break, but coming up,
I think
we'll
the
take a look
Eco Parakeet
at
is a
the
great
cat
symbol
protection
for
charity
what we
just
should be
after
doing
this
on
short break.
Mauritius, what we can do elsewhere in the world.
This is like a picture of me and my cousin when we was in Albania back to my nan's house.
Vëmë tek me menu me menjen tonë edhe me pa momentin e dur që kur më ik edhe policisë.
The Kent Politics Show, live on KMTV. Join us every week with an array of guests.
I think the boundary changes have changed a great deal in Kent.
The Conservative administration have delivered the lowest council tax in Kent. We will continue to do that.
Discussing the things that matter most to you.
People do feel like they've been ignored by this government.
We do need something else to supplement wind and solar.
Catch the Kent Politics Show, only on KMTV.
Become a Kent Online subscriber for unlimited access to award-winning journalism from across the county. Browse the premium version of our website with no intrusive ads for uninterrupted scrolling on your desktop, mobile or tablet. Enjoy unrivaled coverage of news, sport and leisure in Kent, including content exclusive to subscribers. Read fascinating features in our in-depth section and head down memory lane by delving into our decades archive. Keep up to date with politics in Kent and Westminster and the latest on and off the field with our extensive sports coverage, including specialist Gills reporting. Enjoy weekly digital editions of all KM titles and swipe for the same page-turning experience as the newspaper. Download, share and print out the pages you want and tackle fun puzzles such as crosswords and Sudoku. Plus, unlock our extensive archive of past papers stretching back more than 10 years. Becoming a subscriber is easy. Visit kentonline.co.uk and click the subscribe tab at the top right of the screen. Choose the package that suits you with options to pay monthly or annually. Once you've signed up, check your email for a thank you message from us and details on how to get the most out of our subscription. Kent Online, news you can trust.
Hospital visits will be dramatically reduced.
And there's something about time in imagining autism, I call it a nowhere.
I completely adapted to being a hidden away rural homeless person. The system can't and doesn't cope with rural homelessness at all.
And I think that's a big barrier.
Hello and welcome back to Kent Tonight, live here on KMTV. Now, a nationwide cat charity is appealing for more volunteers and foster families here in Kent as it struggles to keep up with the number of felines that need care. Cats Protection say several of its local branches are in urgent need of help, not just to look after cats, but also to find them permanent homes. Well, Kristen Hawthorne has been down to Tenterden to find out more.
The charity Cats Protection is calling out for more volunteers and foster families nationwide to help deal with the number of cats that need a permanent home. In Kent alone, there are around 10 branches that need help. But what does the work actually entail?
It may be that you're actually helping the cats themselves. It may be that you're great at fundraising. I mean, fundraisers are crucial. Because if we don't raise funds, we're not here. It's as simple as that. There's many different roles they can take, and of course, social media is a really important one now. So if you think, oh, maybe I can't really help, but you're really good at social media, come and ask. Because we're looking for so many different types of roles.
The more people you have, the merrier, because also they bring in their own ideas and ways of how to do things. So volunteers for fundraising, fosterers, we can never have too many fosterers, and if it's not this branch, there are other branches within Kent that will need help.
I spoke to one of the volunteers about her experience with the charity.
I've never felt so valued and happy doing what I'm doing at the moment, and I just love Cats Protection itself. It's just one of the best charities to work for.
She has noticed that along with the need for volunteers, the need to find cats a permanent home has also been a challenge. At this branch, there are 15 cats. This causes more than a 2-month waiting list for ones being surrendered to the charity. Sophie thinks that this is because simply people don't know about the location here, causing people to buy new cats instead of coming here to get ones which are vaccinated, healthy, and most importantly, neutered.
To increase awareness of our branch, I have made numerous flyers that you might see around Tenterden. You've got a QR code that you can scan and it just takes you straight to the cats that need adopting.
With so many cats still waiting for their forever homes, Cats Protection is urging the public to put one paw in front of the other and take that first step towards making a difference, whether it be through volunteering, fostering or adopting. Kristen Hawthorne for KMTV in Tenterden.
Great story there from Kristen. Now, don't forget, you can keep up to date with all your latest stories across Kent. That's by logging onto our website, kmtv.co.uk. There you can find all our reports, including this one. It's all about the Maidstone River Festival.
Hundreds of boats took to the River Medway to celebrate the Maidstone River Festival. This time of the year gives boat lovers a chance to sink their jaws into racing and showing off their amazing vessels.
Well, the river in Maidstone is obviously its biggest asset, and then we come down here and we make the most of it because we're from the high level bridge to Lock Meadow, so we cover the main town centre bit of the river. The Firmin family is one of our biggest sponsors. Maidstone Borough Council have got involved this year, which has been utterly excellent.
And of course behind me is Maidstone's River Medway, and as its name suggests, it stretches all the way here right to Medway, and it served many purposes throughout history, from trade to being the stage of naval battles.
But the event also served the purpose of raising money for charities across the county.
I think it's amazing, and it's so everybody's joining in, everybody's happy, and so good, so good.
The festival has supported the Heart of Kent Hospice for many years, and we're extremely lucky that everyone in the community is willing to support us, because the work everyone does at the hospice is so vital to the local community here.
The Mayor of Medway was also there to deliver flags and find the best decorated boats, from pirates to even a snowman.
Great fun, I've been doing it for years and I love it. It's the highlight of my year.
When I came to the River Festival many years ago, we won Best Dressed Boat, and I didn't even know there was a Best Dressed Boat.
I had a really great time. It's always a good day down here at the festival.
One group managed to win the raft race for 2 years in a row, and shared the secret of their scallywagging success.
We all worked together to make the raft to the design that we'd written up, and we had 6 good people on the raft to make the raft go along as fast as it did. So it all worked out well.
We did. We did well.
Well done,
we did
Ian.
really well. We worked as a team, won as a team, and we're going to celebrate as a team later.
The celebrations finished with a firework display at Fremlin Walk, making a merrily time for those involved. Henry Luck for KMTV in May.
Well, now it's time to take a look at the forecast for the coming days. Well, it looks like clear skies across the county this evening. Highs of 17 in Dartford, lows of 14 in Ashford. A cloudy morning tomorrow, wind speeds dropping to 4 miles per hour in the west, highs of 19 down there in Dover. And tomorrow afternoon, winds picking up to 11 in the east, highs of 25 in Medway, but still cloudy skies. But it is a sunny start to next week. Temperatures rising from 26 to 28 by Tuesday, and some nice sun carrying us through into next week. Now, for KMTV's biggest fans, you may remember our reporter Gabriel Morris covering the start of the Tommy Ride in 2025. Well, the peloton of visitors and fundraisers has now smashed their target. They cycled 150 miles from RBLI's village in Aylesford to the Menin Gate in Belgium, raising over £94,000 to support life-changing services for veterans. Paula Ray, Assistant Director of Funding at RBLI, joined us earlier. Well, Paula joins us now. And first of all, how are you feeling now that that total is in?
Absolutely amazing. It will make so much difference to the work that we do here at Royal British Legion Industries. It will help us to support our veterans even further.
And speaking on that, what kind of impact will this money have for veterans and their families? Talk us through the process and what that impact really will look like.
Well, here at RBLI, we support around 300 veterans and their families on our village, and we provide homes, work opportunities and welfare support for them. So of course, every penny raised through events like the Tommy Ride really does go a long way to help even more veterans.
I see, and that ride itself must have been quite an incredible challenge. I mean, 150 miles. How did the cyclists cope?
Oh, they were amazing, all of them. We had cyclists of all different abilities. We had veterans taking part who work in our social enterprise here at Britain's Bravest Manufacturing Company. And they rode in groups of different abilities. It was hard, it was tough, it was very warm as well, which of course isn't always ideal for a bike ride, a cycle ride of that distance. But they were totally amazing, and every single one of them deserves a big pat on the back for what they achieved that weekend.
Absolutely, and I'm sure many might be wondering, why is the Menin Gate such a significant finish point for this ride? What was the sort of thought behind that?
Well, not only is it a significant finish line for us with our veterans taking part in the ceremony that takes part there every evening at 8 o'clock at the Menin Gates, it's also Armed Forces Weekend when we did the bike ride, so it had even more of a poignant meaning for everybody taking part. And we are very, very fortunate in that some of our veterans and some of the veterans that we actually support here were able to lay a wreath in the ceremony to remember those soldiers who were lost. That's absolutely amazing. And, excuse me, we're very aware of the RBLI. We've seen events like the Great Tommy Sleep Out, which I participated in actually. That was earlier this year. Thank you. It was a lot of fun. But yeah. I'm curious, was it always intended to be a cycle ride, or what was the real thought there in sort of the planning stage? Yes, we always wanted to bring a cycle ride into our portfolio of events. As you've mentioned there, we do have a wide portfolio, including the Great Tommy Sleep Out. But it's nice to add variety for people. And of course, not everybody wants to do the same thing, and some people want to do all of the events that we offer. So yes, it was always going to be a cycle ride. It's challenging enough for people that want the challenge, but it's also achievable.
I see. And finally, how can people get involved with RBLI's future events or some of the fundraising efforts? Talk us through that.
Well, it's very simple. You can go to our website, which is rbli.co.uk, and simply click on our fundraising events. It will tell you the whole calendar that we've got coming up, including the bike ride for next year, which is already in the planning stages and already live to be signed up. So if you fancy a bike ride, cycle ride yourself over to the Menin Gates, spending a weekend with some amazing people, really inspirational people like Harry, a sign up. Or if that's not your thing and you fancy a game of golf, or maybe taking part in the Great Tommy Sleep Out, giving up your bed for the night to raise awareness and funds for homeless veterans, then sign up there. We'd love to meet you and get you involved.
Brilliant. Well, it sounds like there's a lot of ways people can get involved, but for now, that's all we have time for. Thank you so much for your time today. Well, you've been watching Kent Tonight live here on KMTV, but don't forget there's more news made just for Kent throughout the evening. You can always keep up to date with the latest news across your county by logging on to kmtv.co.uk. You can also keep us on your social timelines by liking us on Facebook and following our TikTok.